Here as citizen lobbyists about a bill, SB 57. It would end the automatic voter registration.
Okay.
We completely agree with this bill. It is written by Senator Bates, Orange County Republican, because she points out, I'm going to give you her editorial, that we had problems with our voter registration system before the automatic system, and now it has increased, and we have some of those facts to show you.
Okay.
Here's our information. We have our organization, We the People Rising. We have our letter of support, and we are official support listed in the record in the bill. Also, American First Latinos letter is there. And I'm a candidate for Assembly District 41, and my letter of support is also in the packet. And then we have Senator Bates' editorial that lists the various reasons as to why the automatic voter registration is actually causing more errors and making our voting system more flawed. So with that said, your constituent Lori Masonis, she is going to address the topic first.
Hi, my name's Lori Masonis. I live in Ontario, not too far from here. And I'm here to say that I support SB 57. As Robin stated, Senator Bates pointed out some of the major flaws. And one that was pointed out was that the public learned in October 2018 that the DMV mistakenly registered 1,500 ineligible residents, including non-citizens. Now, these are ones that we know about. Lord help us, the ones we haven't heard about. And I remember some years ago, it was 2014, I was volunteering for then candidate County Supervisor Kurt Hagman. This is San Bernardino County. In fact, I think Connie Leyva knows him quite well.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of telephone calls. And I remember very vividly, I called up and the person that was listed in the Register of Voters list, name list, answered. And she says, yes, this is me. And she spoke nothing but Spanish. And I mentioned who I was, calling from Kurt Hagman, blah, 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 running for office. And she goes, I don't vote. I'm not registered. And I had mentioned to her, it's here, you're a registered voter. She goes, I'm not registered. All this in Spanish. I speak Spanish. And she goes, I'm not a registered voter. I don't know anything about this. So that's an example of what, number 3 points out. I also had a similar experience where the father and son had the same name. And he made it very clear he didn't vote, but his son did. So this is just an example why the automatic registrations not good, and why I support SB 57. Thank you.
And then your constituent, Bill Kezar, would like to speak.
Definitely in favor of the SB 57 because we have way too much voter fraud in this state. Illegal aliens, foreign nationals, up to and including anchor babies, people born in this country, but to illegal alien parents. They are not American citizens under Article, the 14th Amendment of our Bill of Rights, or the Bill of Rights. Okay, it says that you have to be under our jurisdiction. And how can you be under our jurisdictions if your mother and father came across the border illegally? You're not. So giving them any way to vote is a violation of federal law. And by supporting this bill, we can end a lot of that fraud. Because I can guarantee you the American people are not going to allow foreign nationals and the hardcore political left to take over our country, which is what they're trying to do. I've been out there, I've seen Antifa at work, we've been around, all of us have. People trying to intimidate us with those masks. I've been assaulted about 4 times. I've had my life threatened about 8 or 9 times. And I'm going to do something about it. And this is part of what I'm doing. Thank you.
Then Rue would like to speak.
My name is Rue Guyant, and I was represented by Judicial Watch against LA County voter registration, where they ended up winning the lawsuit because they had 1.5 million people on registered voters that were not allowed to be on the rolls. Now, in winning that lawsuit, LA County has to go through a process of sorting out those people, seeing which ones are valid and which aren't. That's actually the 1.5 million people on the rolls is more than the eligible number of eligible voters in LA County. So these kinds of things happen when there's not care about doing proper procedures and vetting. Then you end up with problems like automatic voter registration. We can only imagine what will happen with that. I support SB 57.
Then Phyllis?
Okay. I too support SB 57. I think that automatic registration of the DMV is a very bad idea. And one of the other points that Senator Bates's editorial pointed out was that in May of 2018, a software error affected 77,000 voter registrations, and in some cases resulted in 2 registration forms for 1 single voter. And while I realize that this is one aspect, it certainly would reduce voter fraud, and so we are urging Senator Leyva to support SB 57.
And Mike?
Yeah, I'd like to say my support for SB 57 too, because in August 2019, the state conducted an audit found that in just the first 5 months of the new version of the motor voter, the DMV produced 84,000 duplicate records and more than twice that number with political party mistakes. And so with the chaos that's going on in our voter thing right now, I think that we have to support SB 57. They were saying in, I think it's in San Diego County, they had 130% of the eligible voters voted. It's obvious fraud. In LA County, at one person's house, they had 27 mail-in votes were delivered to one house. So voter fraud is rampant, and giving this to the DMV is going to cause nothing but more chaos and more trouble. So I strongly support SB 57. I would like to see your Connie Leyva do something. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, well, real quick, I do support SB 57. I think it's important to realize that automatically registering a voter through the DMV is diluting my vote. And that's the objective of voting no on this bill. And if we need her to vote yes, so that we can have our vote mean more. There's like 5 counties that showed up with 140% people who voted. How's that happen? They got Taco Bells with 37 people registered to them as an example. They've got many things that needs to be cleared off. Alex Padilla is not doing his job in clearing the voter rolls, even though he was sued and lost in court to make the voter rolls clear. Now but they're not moving forward on this. You can sue them and win, but still they don't move forward. We need to do this from this grassroots area, and we need your support. Okay? Thank you.
And then Raul Rodriguez?
Yes, my name is Raul Rodriguez Jr. A few weeks ago, we learned that over 600 people in multiple counties have had their party registration switched. After going into the DMV to conduct business, in fact, it happened to the daughter of Senate Republican leader Shannon Grove. She went to a DMV office to update her address. She soon received a postcard notifying her party registration was no party preference. I ran for Secretary of State in the primary in 2017, came in 3rd out of 8 candidates. And the reason why I decided to run was because I noticed that there's a lot of fraud in California, because I've worked the elections in 2001. Every election in California since then. And I noticed that there is a lot of fraud, not only with the fact that they're not teaching the poll workers in every county, in 58 counties, they're not teaching them the same method. And I found that out through other employees that have worked as a poll worker. It's important that they all get the same training, but they're not doing that. And it's also important that when they're trained to do this job, they're not all doing a very good job, because I could remember in the last election, I walked in there with a mail-in ballot, and the person that was behind the poll worker did not even, she read, there's 8 spaces that tell you exactly what to do. And the poll worker has to go through those 8 references to that poll worker. You go by the name, party preference, and all that. Now what happened was that individual did not ask me for my ballot, mail-in ballot. So I could have voted twice. I chose not to, because I have respect for the voter, the right that we have as voters, and also I've been a supervisor many years doing this. So I decided to contact the supervisor of that office. He came over, I filed a report stating that he or the person did not accept or ask me for my mail-in ballot. I submitted my ballot, I filed a report, a complaint against that particular voter site, and I got a letter back from the ROV office in San Bernardino County. But the point I'm making is that it's important that the training for every individual that works the elections has to be the same. It can't be different. And also, prior to that election, we had people, they changed the registration of Republicans to Democrats. And that same day, we spent, I was a supervisor, and my assistant supervisor spent the whole day and the whole night giving out professional ballots, because there was so many people that have changed their registration from Republican to Democrat. I also filed a complaint through the ROV that this shouldn't be happening in California or any state for that matter. Now, I also like to close by saying I support SB 57, and I wrote a letter to the chairman of the committee, and also a letter to the Bates, who submitted this particular legislation. But I'd like to remind Connie Leyva that she is elected by the American people, and her responsibility is to serve the American people only. So when an illegal registers to vote, he or she shouldn't register, because it's illegal for them to do so in the first place. But yet it's happening through the DMV. So we need to put a stop to this. So can you please get that message to Connie Leyva that she has a responsibility to the American people. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'd like to just thank you all for coming in and voicing your concerns, because these are very legitimate issues. And yeah, I'll definitely pass this your concerns on to Senator Leyva.